happen?
PeterPaul.com, 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 PeterPaul.com.
Payroll. What specifically is your relevant experience for being president?
The experience I have in politics is primarily legislative. But here's the experience that I think the next president needs. I think the next president has to be able to get people to work together to get things done even when they disagree. And I've done that. You know, when I was in Illinois, we brought police officers and civil rights advocates together to reform a death penalty system that had sent 13 innocent men to death row, and we ended up passing it unanimously, even though originally people had said it couldn't be done. Dennis earlier was talking about the need to work on non-proliferation issues. I've worked with Dick Lugar, Republican spokesperson for the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, to focus on the next generation of non-proliferation efforts.
Are you listening to this, American people?
That, I think, is critical experience. I also think it is critical for the next president to have the experience to stand up to
nuclear weapons.
I'm glad Hillary's talking about it, but I'm the only person on this stage who has worked actively just last year.
We have the bomb.
Along with Russ Feingold, some of the toughest ethics reforms since Watergate.
China can have all the democracy it wants, but we got the bomb.
And meals to congressmen, making sure that the bundling of money by lobbyists was disclosed.
Of the value of nuclear weapons.
And finally, I think we've got to have a president who has the experience of standing up even when
anyone who would stand up there and say they are for nuclear proliferation on the United States side
against this war in Iraq 10 days before the authorization.
Here's how it works. If you have an election in a free democracy and basically the people voted for you to be their representative, you're allowed to have nukes because we trust the people to elect responsible leaders with their finger on the button. Now, if you're a dictator and you took your office by force or fiat or phony elections and you have insane policies and you say insane things and you make your countrymen say insane things like death to America like they do in Iran, you don't have a right to nuclear weapons. It's as simple as that. American nuclear weapons, yes. Iran nuclear weapons, no. Israel nuclear weapons, yes. North Korea nuclear weapons, no. Do you see a pattern here? Do you see every time we get upset at somebody with a nuclear weapon is because they have proven themselves to be irresponsible. It's because they are not elected leaders. Is this too complicated for you?
Should take money from special.
Getting rid of our nuclear weapons will open us up to a grave new threat. I can't even believe I have to stand here and tell you this. It is one of the most dangerous things I've ever heard of, other than the socialist, communist healthcare system you're trying to push forth, other than the run, defeat, surrender plan you have for Iraq. Nuclear proliferation on our side is goddamn ridiculous.
On the past and not focusing on the future. Look, the reality on the electability issue is the last senator that was elected president was 40 years ago. His name was John F. Kennedy. We elect governors as presidents. 7 out of the last 8 have been either governors or ex-governors. And my view is that
John F. Kennedy would turn over in his grave if he heard you repeat his name. The man who tried to take a substantive stance towards Cuba, whether it worked or not. The man who surrounded Cuba. That's right. To prevent the Russians from building nuclear weapons in Cuba.
Foreign countries as a diplomat, as a hostage negotiator. Yeah, I do think it is substantially more than my colleagues, although they have a strong record. But the important thing is that we need to stay positive. We need to have disagreements on the issues, not on whether you can trust. I trust Senator Clinton, but I don't agree with her on a majority of issues.
Do you?
Senator Dodd, you gave an interview to...
Do you trust Senator Clinton in the fact that she was overbilling the Rose Law Firm when she worked there? Do you trust Senator Clinton, who when she was married to Bill Clinton somehow looked the other way because she didn't want to break up with a man who she knew was cheating on her, who literally said to one of the rape victims after she was crying, put a Band-Aid on that. When he raped Kathleen Willey, he raped at least 3 women. Monica Lewinsky, I think, is the only one who was going willingly. He's pulled out his genitals in front of people when nobody on the Clinton staff was able to pass a background check, according to FBI man Gary Aldridge. It's great, I trust Hillary Clinton. And the fact that FBI files of Bill Clinton researching on his political opponents, something Nixon would never dream of doing, Bill Clinton got away with. Those files were found in her bedroom. No, I don't have a problem with that. At all.
I happen to believe we ought to have public financing for our campaigns. I've supported that for 25 years. I managed the McCain-Feingold legislation on the floor.
McCain-Feingold bill, which doesn't allow you to make a public ad on radio or TV 60 days out before an election. Freedom of speech? Anyone? Anyone? No. The great McCain-Feingold. Brilliant.
Piece of legislation had a Republican as my co-sponsor because no one party is going to straighten all of this out. When I started the Children's Caucus,
Speak for yourself.
inspector of this state. When I wrote the family...
All inspector you consider a Republican, maybe one Republican stance that he's taken. Other than that he has an R in front of his name. That's who you quote as a Republican who you've been getting along with? I'll tell you a Democrat that I get along with. Joseph Lieberman. How's that?
Reaching out and finding common ground with people. So electability and the ability to govern and to do so immediately are important. But don't discount the importance of electability. It's a very important hurdle.
Senator Edwards, want to take 30 seconds and respond on situational ethics?
I do. First of all, let me be absolutely clear about this. I think I said it a few minutes ago. Nobody on this stage is
I can hear
pure.
the
That
baby
absolutely
calling.
includes me.
I can hear the
And
baby
I am
calling,
not
help me,
perfect, nor do I
Jesus.
claim
I can
to
hear the
be.
baby
It is
calling.
true
I
that
can hear
I,
the
Senator
baby
Obama,
calling,
have taken
help
nobody
me,
from
Lord.
Washington
I can hear the
Loftus
baby
campaign,
calling, talk
and
to the
nobody
baby,
from
talk
special
to the
interest.
baby, talk
I'm not
to the
even patting myself on the back,
Jesus.
or
I can hear
actually
the baby
talking about
calling.
anybody
I
personally
can
on
hear
this
the baby
stage. I
calling,
completely
talk to me.
disagree
I can hear
with
the
this.
baby
This is
calling.
not about the past. This is about
There's an
the
ambulance.
future.
Go get
This
the
is
ambulance.
about whether we believe this.
Go get the
works.
ambulance.
I mean, we are here in Philadelphia where the founding fathers decided that the power, the sovereign power in this government, should not reside with the rich and the powerful. It ought to reside with the people. And everybody in America can see what's happening now. We don't have
two
universal
Americas,
health
John.
care because of drug companies, insurance companies, and their lobbyists.
No, we don't have
The
national
reason
health
we
care
haven't
because it's a
tackled
dumb
global
idea and it
warming
doesn't work.
is
It
because
never
of
has and
oil
it never
companies,
will.
power companies and their lobbyists. And the question is, what are we going to do for our children? I mean, I'll say this to every voter who's watching this debate. Listen, we've all...
Well, I can tell you one thing. I'm not going to have socialized medicine, which will leave him
I'm guilty. Guilty
sick
as charged.
and will leave him
But the question
waiting in
is,
line.
are you willing to look your children in the eye tonight?
Oh,
and
let's
say,
everybody's
I'm
a
gonna
victim.
turn this mess over to you.
Babies,
Because
children,
if you turn
dead
your back
people.
on
Vote for
the
me.
incompetence
Republicans hate
and the
children. They voted
corruption that
against the
exists in
SHIP bill.
Washington today,
Republicans
that's
like
exactly
killing
what you're
people.
saying.
They just
You're
are
saying,
murderers.
I'm gonna
They
let my
hate
children
babies.
and my
They want to go to
grandchildren
war in
take
Iraq to
care of that.
kill
I'm not
people.
willing
They're
to
just
do that.
evil
Congressman,
monsters.
you're smiling.
You
Why?
really think you're going to win in office?
Well,
With
I'm glad
that
to
kind of
hear
rhetoric?
people take a stand
Are people really
for
that dumb?
integrity.
Republicans like
when
war.
people
They
get
hate
money from
babies.
New York hedge
Jesus
funds,
Christ
and then they
on a
attack
cracker.
another person for getting money from Washington interest groups. You know what? They're both right, so I'm not going to get in the middle of that one. Now, I want to go beyond that.
They're both
American
right?
people
Brilliant.
have a right to know what's different here among all these candidates. We haven't really established that, I don't think. And I'm the only one up here who stands for a not-for-profit health care system, which means that the insurance industry has enormous influence.
Back in the
this
USSR,
race. Why shouldn't
we
Democrats
know how lucky we
stand for
are,
universal
boy.
single-payer,
Back in the US,
not-for-profit,
back in
with
the
46
US,
million
back in the
Americans
USSR.
underinsured, 50 million Americans underinsured.
Moscow
People wanna
girls
tell you
really
something.
knock
There's gotta be
me
people
out.
watching us at home saying, hey, you haven't talked
Ma,
about
ma,
me
ma,
losing
ma,
my
ma,
job
ma,
because
ma,
of NAFTA.
ma.
Well, I'll cancel NAFTA and
We're back in the USSR.
and a trade that's based
We
on
know how
workers'
lucky
rights.
we
Human rights,
are,
environmental
boy.
quality principles.
Back in the
Somebody's
US,
gotta be
back
saying,
in the US,
wait a minute,
back in the
who's talking about
USSR.
whether I'm going to have health care? I've introduced the bill, H.R. 676. You have somebody worried about losing their home. We need to cancel Bush's tax cuts and flip
That's right,
it so
because
we
they're gonna
give
be able
the
to keep
benefits
that
to
home
the
when they have higher
80%.
taxes.
Well, currently it's going to the top 1%, so people will have more
Because
money
the top
so they can
1%
save their
earn
home.
more money.
I mean, we have to talk about people's
Isn't a fair
practical
tax a flat
aspirations
tax,
here. And
more
if we don't
fair,
do
where
that,
everybody
then I
pays the
anticipate
same
it's a total
amount?
flop.
17.5%
Senator
on
Biden,
all
you
sales
said
tax.
recently, while
That's
Mrs.
fair.
Clinton
Everybody
was
pays the
meeting
same amount. You
socially
do not
with the
have the
Prime
right
Minister
to
of
tax
a
the wealthy
country I
simply
was
because they are
sitting down
wealthy.
and
We went to war in
negotiating
this
with them.
country
I
over
know
a
my
minor tax
experience is
infringement.
considerably deeper and more relevant.
Nobody remember the Boston
Do
Tea
you
Party.
stand by that
Do not have a right to
and
take
is
from the
your
wealthy
inference
and
that
give to the
she's
poor. That
less
is
qualified
communism.
than you to be
It is
president?
socialism.
running against
It is
Hillary
wrong.
Clinton.
We believe
I'm
in the
running
rights
to
of the
lead the
individual.
free
You have the
world.
right to
I'm
work,
running to
make
lead
money,
this
and pay your own
And
way.
the irony is,
You do not have a right to my money simply because I have more of it.
man since George Bush to seek the presidency is here talking about any of the
Shut up.
Giuliani. I mean, think about it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Rudy
Attack Giuliani.
There's
Try.
only three things
Try.
that makes it a sentence.
You
A
are
noun, a
worthless.
verb,
You're
and 9/11.
nothing. You should have been
There's
aborted.
nothing else.
You're nothing. You're
Nothing
a cum
else.
stain.
And I mean it
You should have been a
sincerely.
cum stain on the wall.
Genuinely
Should have ended up
not
in a tissue
qualified
paper
to
in some
be president.
dirty
Here's a
motel.
man to brag